Yes. Oh, thank you, Scott. Yeah, we'll start with some stretching and yeah, get into some of tonight's topics and see what questions you have on the reading. Okay, so let's just start with this one. It's pretty simple. We do this kind of every week. This being the heart center or Anahata chakra in Sanskrit. Inhale, feel like a lifting through the crown of the head and then opening the heart too as you stretch, push up. And exhale. I'm going to kind of turn myself a little bit. Clasp the hands behind the back and then inhale, bring those shoulder blades together, really opening the heart center and back. Up. Yeah. Somehow I like getting in rhythms of three, but repetition type of um, yoga we do here and another style uh, stresses repeating poses more than rushing from one to another. You know, some yoga classes will go through 15, 20, 30 poses, and that's okay, but there's also value in moving slow with the breath and in repetition. So inhale up and come over, stretch that side. As we go slow, remember the slow flow, it's a good time to tune into yourself. What are you feeling? You know, those physical sensations. You know, yoga is the yoga postures. I like to correct that because yoga is really the full thing. Meditation, postures, ethics. But in the West, we kind of think of yoga as postures. Let's hold this. Inhale, lift your line. Each exhale, try to stretch a little further. And inhale up. Point is, the postures that this were never meant to be separate from the mind. The mind-body interaction. That's what we're working with here. So that's big breath. Mind follows the breath. Inhale up, reaching for the ceiling, coming down, one hand on the knee, one hand on the floor so you don't lean over. You keep yourself nice and straight. As we rotate, remember the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine. We'll hold, yeah, let's move with the breath. See, doing too much talking and not enough thinking. Always a bad combination. Inhale up. And back. Yeah, try to feel kind of a rhythm, a nice, gentle, slow rhythm. Big breaths. You exhale into this pose. Inhale back up. And this time, let's come and hold. Inhale, lifting through the crown of the head. Each exhale, letting go. Continue. And then this time, just turn the head in the opposite direction, tip it. And here we put a little tension in. You kind of moving in opposite directions, get a little deeper into the stretch, and then just let go, release that. And the same thing the other side. Come in, full twist first. Full twist, you're kind of more letting go to go deeper into it. But each inhale, lifting the crown of the head. Each exhale, try to relax into a pose if that makes some sense. And then turning the head, look the opposite direction. Put a little tension into this. So here, it's a little different. You're moving opposite directions and then release. And let's just come, yeah, go back onto the tabletop position.
So I pulled something in my back today and I've had to baby it. So I'm going to limit what I'm doing here tonight.
That's
I
okay. Maybe
baby
move.
and I have no idea what I did, but I'll still be here.
Okay, we'll try. This one might be gentle enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
A gentle movement, but
Okay.
certainly don't, listen to your body. It'll tell you
Oh
when to
yeah,
stop.
because it's been, yep, see, that's not good. It's been talking to me all day.
Okay.
Sure.
So again, inhale, pull the hips back, lift shoulders, exhale, arch. Let's just do that much. How's that feel, Renee? Gentle up and down. Does that work? Not so much the head, it's more moving the spine, pulling the hips back and the shoulders up. Back. How's that feel? Okay? Or no?
Yeah, no, when I went up on all fours, doctor, I could feel it in my lower back, the pulling. There's a pulling. And
Okay.
so yeah, I better not get into my all fours like that.
Okay.
I'll
Let's
just baby it a couple of days. You guys go ahead and I'll join you back shortly.
actually, Renee, let's do something
Yes.
different. We can all do this.
Okay.
How about lying on your back?
Let me try that. Okay.
Okay. Bring the hands onto the knees.
Okay.
You deep breath. Exhale, bring the right knee toward the chest. Just stretch it. How's that feel? Inhale it back
That's
up.
good. Yes, sir.
Exhale, left knee to the chest. Stretch. Is that getting towards the part that's
Yeah, I feel
right
it there with that right leg. Yeah.
right leg and then the left leg? Alternate them.
Okay.
Remember, gentle movements. Okay. Pause for a moment with both knees up, hands are on the knees, and hands are, the movement comes from the arms. They're extended. This time, exhale, try to bring both knees down, knees about hip width apart, and
Okay.
back up. How's that feeling?
It feels okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And getting a little bit of movement back in the back, I hope. Okay. Okay. Next time the knees are up, bring the knees and ankles together. Bring them down. And then inhale, bring the knees far apart and back up. You're making circles to the hip joints and right the lower part of the back,
Yeah.
or the sacrum, back there behind the hips. Really just, the purpose of this is really trying to loosen things up a bit. Particularly when something pulls in the back, the muscles tighten up to protect you.
Yeah.
Just gently breaking that apart, gentle movements, pause, and then switch. This time as you exhale, bring the knees apart and down, inhale together and up. It's also nice work on the hip joint. You can visualize that ball and socket joint as you move. Okay, from here, let's just roll over to one side and push ourselves up. And
Mm,
let's see,
okay.
Renee, you may want to just go straight into a standing position, but Carl and Sharon, you can bring the hands forward, weight to the base of the fingers, and push
Mhm.
straight up. Down dog. Here you can kind of alternate the heels. Bend one knee and stretch the other leg, and bring your heel toward the mat, and alternate. Get a little nice stretch um, to the lower calf there, and walk yourself forward and on up to a standing position. I have the recording version of this. Looks like I keep moving my camera around. Okay, for a nice standing position, feel those feet grounded, rooted in. Remember, this is the mountain pose, and the mountain is rooted deep in the earth. Bring the shins together. They don't really move. It's more of an isometric. You're trying to move your shins together. That's right down here, lifting the kneecaps. And slight rotation of the thighs outward to pull the tailbone in and up, or lift the pubic bone if you like, and rotate the thighs back to stabilize the hips. Remember, you're activating now lower pelvic floor, part of the core activation from Ms. Rothenberg. Take a deep breath in and out, pull the navel in and up, stabilizing the lumbar spine. Again, this is activating that deep muscle inside, transverse abdominis, the deepest layer of the abdominals. And remember though, that these deep layers are meant to stabilize us, and that's what the mountain is, nice and stable. Shoulders up and back, but boy, upper arms outwards, elbows down inwards and spreading the fingers. Chin level and the throat to the back of the neck. Lift the collarbone and bring the lower ribs in. And then lift through the crown of the head, feeling elongating the spine. That's the last part of the core activation. Take some deep breaths. And just feel the presence of the mountain. Inhale up, nice. Reach for the ceiling. Exhale. Bring the left hand down, stretch the right side. Hold that. Inhale back up. Exhale the other side. You're gonna hold here. You're holding the breath out. Holding the pose and the breath out. About 6 or 8 seconds. Inhale up. I'll go to the side here. Fold forward. So it's not more, it's more folding from the hips, at least part way down. And then lift hips, sink chest, hold breath out. Inhale up. Get back to that mountain. Get nice and solid before you go into back bend. Remember, lift pelvic floor, throat to back, the neck, and then inhale. Focus on opening the belly and the chest, holding the breath in. And a big release. Okay, again. About 3 or 4 rounds of this tonight. Exhale. Remember, hold the breath out. Inhale up. Reach the ceiling. Exhale over. Again, hold the breath out. Inhale. Again, fold forward. Lift hips, sink chest. Inhale back. Round those feet. Lift pelvic floor, throat to back, the neck, and then inhale. Open, hold the breath. And then release. Okay. A couple more. Exhale over. Inhale up and exhale over. Inhale, go forward. You can lift the hips, sink the chest. Inhale back, ground those feet, lift pelvic floor, throat to back the neck. And open. And release. Let's do one more round. Big breath. Exhale, hold. Inhale up, big breath, deep in the belly. Exhale, hold. And again, reach up, try to stretch the body. Fold forward, down, lift hips, sink chest. Again, hold the pose. Inhale back. Again, always recapture the mountain so you really feel stable, particularly in the hips and not bending the neck too far back. And then inhale, opening belly and chest, focusing on opening the belly and the chest, holding and releasing. Okay. Okay, from here, let's, maybe I should do this at an angle too. Back into that warrior one. Remember, front foot forward, back foot at a slight angle. His feet nice and grounded. Yeah, hands just right up here. We'll do this variation. Inhale and exhale. Just coming in and out with the breath. Inhale, exhale back, straightening the leg. This time, inhale, hold. If you like, repeat an affirmation or a mantra. Back. Again, come and hold. If you like, repeat affirmation and a mantra. Back. Yeah, imagine opening the heart to whatever thought or affirmation or mantra you wish to use. Back once more. And try to really feel the heart opening and back. Pause for a moment and switch sides. Again, heart centered. It's about feeling compassion, discernment, love. Start coming in and out, switching sides if you didn't already. Sorry. And back. Time hold. Again, what thought, affirmation, mantra do you want to couple with this feeling of opening the heart, opening the chest? Again, inhale and hold. You can be breathing in it though, but hold the pose. Back. Do two more. And back. One more. Big breath. Inhale and exhale a couple of times. And back. Pause for a moment. Come back. Just inhale. Fold forward. Inhale back up. Forward. Let's stay down. Lift hips, sink chest. If you like, you can pull the arms up so the hands are right beneath the knees. Pull back on the hips and lift the shoulders. Try to stretch out the back, particularly the back of the hips, if that works. Exhale down, downward dog or whatever works, to get back down onto your mat. And on your belly, we'll come into a cobra. Aligned with the camera. Okay, good. Okay, remember the cobra. Maybe one time we just come up and back. Deep breath in, exhale. Inhale, pull back on the hands and just come part way. Without pushing. And exhale down, kind of a half cobra as a warm-up. Deep breath in and out. Inhale slowly. Try to focus on moving from the base of the neck through the shoulder blades. See if you can get a little movement in that area where we tend to be tucked, stiff, hunched over, and back. Take a couple deep breaths. Exhale, come up on the inhale, pull back in the hands. Start the same way, just lifting the shoulders, then push in to lift the lower ribs. and the belly. Activate the toes, legs, hold, breath held in. And slowly back down. Move slow. See if you can feel different parts of the back. Let's do 3 more of those. Big breath in and exhale. Now pull back, first lift shoulders, then push belly, lower ribs, belly. Activate the legs, point the toes. And then slowly down. Again, you can be repeating a mantra or affirmation if you like, as we hold the pose. Good. So as I'm inhaling, I'm pulling back in the hands at first, really when I lift. So you get a feeling of stretching the back. And then pushing in, lift, hold. Exhale slowly down. And take a breath or two and let's do one more. Same way. And up in the inhale slowly, then push and hold. And slowly back down. First the belly, then lower ribs, and the chest. Finally the shoulders and the neck. And push yourself up. Let's come on your hands and knees. And again, if your knees are um, stiff, mine are a little. I don't always do it, but often I'll put a blanket underneath here to take some of the pressure off the knees. Okay. And again, try to get that posture nice and straight, me included. Big inhale, exhale forward, stretch out. So stretch the hands out and then pull the hips back, trying to get back onto your heels, forehead onto the mat. Breath held out. And inhale back up. Again, in this style, Sananda Marga style, the breath is held either in or out for about 8 seconds and multiple rounds. Coming forward, stretch, pull back on the hips. And that's not true of every one of their postures, but many are done that way with the held breath. And repetition again, so that you really imbibe the pose. And let's do 2 more. Inhale up. Again, a feeling of letting go in this pose. Very much like a prayer pose, where you're humbling yourself before the divine. Whatever the divine is for you. Back. Once more. Back. Okay. From here, come to a comfortable seated position. I don't know whether, I'm trying to remember whether we've done a self-massage, but I think we have a little time. Maybe we can go over that with you. Again, a part of this, and how what does this have to do with stress management? Stress management is mind-body. The more we can be aware of our body and the sensations of our body, the more chance we have to manage stress, because the stress manifests itself in the sensations of our bodies. So the self-massage is a nice way to get back in touch with your body. Start by rubbing those hands together and cupping the base of the fingers right over the eyebrows and pull down. Just breathe and just notice what the effect is. Just pulling that down. Relax into it. Don't try to make too much of it. And I'll begin. So many teachers say that cupping over the eyes and pulling the eyebrows down helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, sympathetic is, hey, you've got a situation, we got to deal with it. Let's get going. Sympathetic says, okay, rest, digest. They both to work in combination. The problem is, in our modern society, the stresses don't go away like they used to. They kind of are always there in the background, and we never really get into the parasympathetic. We never shut things off. So this is one technique that can perhaps help that. Okay, rubbing those hands a little more, let's go into a massage. Massaging the forehead, and if you're comfortable with that, the scalp, down around the ears and the temples, and the cheeks, and with the size of your palms, you can go along the nose as well. And I feel like you're kind of washing the face, the lips and the chin. Then with the thumbs underneath the chin, work along under the jaw, all the way almost up to the ears. One of the things massage does is help move lymph. Lymphatic system, lymph comes out from the blood and it's not pumped back to the heart where it needs to go. So movement is how we help that. The venous blood as well, the blood in the veins, it needs movement. So now along the throat, either side of the larynx, maybe you can use your palms to put a little pressure, you can use your thumbs. This area of your body, again, it's a energy center or chakra in the yogic system. And either shoulder, start up, down the outside of the shoulder, inside the shoulder, even to the armpit. Again, a rich area of lymph nodes. The movement helps move the lymphatic system. And on through the forearm, wrist, hand, and each finger. The thumb and the forefinger. I've been told, I'm not sure, but in Chinese medicine, that this is an energy center connected to the heart and the center of the palm as well. Okay, the other shoulder, same thing. Start up in the shoulder, outside the upper arm, inside the upper arm, into the armpit. And then down. You're squeezing, you're kind of moving the blood in the veins. Because, you know, there's one-way valves. You squeeze it, go up, but it won't go back. The wrist, hand, and each finger. Again, between the thumb and the forefinger. And the center of the palm. And then I start with the sides of the rib cage and onto the breasts. And ladies, breast cancer is the leading cancer in women. And self-examination, getting early diagnosis is the best defense against it. So do be in touch with your body. Do examine yourself regularly, whatever regularly is, maybe weekly, or I'm not sure what is recommended now. Along the belly and through the navel area. And the lower back, starting from the spine outwards, right? It's this part between the hip bone and the lower ribs. Some muscles that go between those two areas, called QL muscles, they tighten up. And, you know, Renee, this might be part of where you're feeling it because the back tightens up when it feels some stretch. And these
What
muscles
makes it
often
tighten up?
are the
Wonder
ones.
what makes that happen. Wonder what makes that happen.
Why they tighten up?
Yeah, there was no movement, nothing. I was literally standing, and it was almost like I felt it doing something in there, and then boom, the pain was there.
Yeah, the body is funny that way. It probably was something else, but it takes you sort of a lag
It
before
was
it
just once I
reacts.
woke up. So maybe I slept wrong, maybe I don't know.
That could be, that could be, or something
Yeah.
happened and then after sleeping it tightened up. But patience and some
Yeah,
movement, whatever
yeah.
movements you can do will help. Okay.
Okay.
Again, the in the buttocks is the glutes. Gluteus maximus, the biggest one. I like to, maybe pound with the knuckles or rub with the knuckles. These are some very large muscles. And again, this can be the area that gives back pain through
Okay.
here. We think of the back as along here, but sometimes it's really along here. It's where the spine joins the hips and the legs. And saying that, go right up in that hip joint and go along the thigh. You can dig with your fingers, you can rub or chop. I think I've gone over the massage with you once. And the knee. But again, using the massage as a time to get in touch with your body, the sensations you're feeling in different parts of the body, as we do in the body scan, down the calf to the ankle, top of the foot to the tips of the toes, and spread them. And the bottom of the foot, go with the knuckles, dig with the thumbs, or if you want more pressure and flexible enough, you can go along with the elbow. There's a whole massage therapy called reflexology, which is really about massaging the feet. The concept is that the foot has nerve endings to the rest of the body, and each toe, base to tip. And same concept actually in the kirtan they do at Prana Center to touch the tip of the large toe, meaning that it has a connection to the crown of the head or Sahasrara chakra. With a slap and the other leg, same thing. Not hit you with too much information. Getting along the hip joint, along the thigh, again with the thigh, this is some of the strongest muscles in your body. The hamstrings, the quadriceps. You can dig and chop, you can rub, you can really give them a good workout. The knee, you want to be a little more gentle. Certainly, I've abused my knees over the years and I'm paying for it. But I like the little rotation of the kneecap, a little push from underneath, and then the calf, getting vigorous on down to the Achilles heel, top of the foot, all along those tendons to the tips of the toes, and again the bottom of the foot. Oops, get the toes first, then the slap. Sorry. And some people talk about trying to spread the toes. This can be helpful. We spend a lot of time on our feet. The circulation's less in the feet because they're in the bottom, and it's hard to get that blood back up against gravity. That's why sometimes uh, lying down or even keeping your feet up is very helpful. Okay, once you finish, let's come on to our back. As always, start with some breathing. Deep breaths into the belly. I'm going to do maybe a shorter progressive muscle relaxation. So remember that's where we deliberately tighten and then release tension. So start with your feet, soles of your feet, the toes, and just begin by whatever sensations you feel in them or lack of sensations. And then deliberately tighten the feet by curling and pointing the toes and turning the ankles inward. So you curl those toes, feel like you're pointing them, and turn the ankles inward. Note the sensations. Hold that. You can make it tense and then release. Let it go. Open up. Once again, curl and point the toes. Turn the ankles inwards. Notice the sensations. You're deliberately tensing just, and if As much as possible, only the feet. The rest of the body stays relaxed. Much as you're able, and then release that. Let the toes open up. Feel like the soles of the feet soften and lengthen. And just take that in for a moment and bring your awareness to your calves and your shins, maybe the ankles, and whatever sensations you are feeling there. Again, this is a open, um, non-judgmental awareness, just accepting whatever is there without even labeling it if possible, and then deliberately tighten up the calves and shins by uh, pulling the heels away from you and the toes towards your knees, toes toward the knees, heels away. You're really pulling, yeah, really flexing the feet extreme, trying to keep them straight. Where do you feel that? Again, as much as possible, only tighten up the calves, try to stay loose the rest of your body, and then release. And some deep breaths. Just notice what that feels like. Once more. Flex the feet. That is, pull the heels away from you, the toes towards your knees. Really try to deeply lengthen that um, calf muscle. A little more if you can, and then release. Let that go. Some deep breaths and just notice what happens, what sensations that cause, what change, if any. Again, without expectations, just what, try to just be open to whatever you feel, not judge it. Bring your awareness now to your knees, and from your knees to your thighs, quadriceps in the front of your thighs, hamstrings in the back, some other muscles in there too. We won't go over. Okay, deliberately tense the thighs, but leaving the heels on your floor, lifting just the thighs. Of course, the knees come off as well. And feel them tighten up. And then release. Let that go. Some deep breaths. Once more. Lift the thighs and the knees without taking the heels off the floor. Gonna work that lift from the thighs. Try to stay relaxed in the shoulders. And then release. Let that go. Take a deep breath or two. Imagine breathing from the hips all the way down your legs to your toes, and from your toes back up. If you can breathe through your legs. On the exhale, imagine that you can actually, the feet disappear, meld into the floor, then your ankles and calves, knees and legs, as if you can almost take them off and they aren't there anymore. Bring your awareness up to your hips. From your hips up to your belly and the lower back, the lumbar spine. And whatever sensations you're feeling there tonight, deliberately tighten up the belly as if somebody's going to punch you in the stomach and you're getting ready for it. So you're tightening up right around the navel area. Tighten, hold it tight. And then release. Take some deep breaths right through the belly. Once more, tighten up the navel and the lower back as well, as if somebody's going to hit you in the stomach. Really trying to get ready for holding that tight, tensing up. Again, try to stay loose in the arms and shoulders and just tighten the belly as best you can. And then release, take some deep breaths right through the belly, letting it rise and fall with each breath. And bring your awareness up to your shoulders, your chest, rib cage, and whatever sensations you're feeling in the upper back and the ribs. Okay, deliberately tighten up the upper back by taking a deep breath in. Hold the breath and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Try to not tense the neck as much as possible and focus on tightening up those shoulders and the back. And then release that. Take some deep breaths. Let the chest rise and fall with each breath. Once more, take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then release. Let that go. Take some nice deep breaths. Let the chest rise and fall with each breath. And move your awareness onto through your shoulders, down your arms to your hands, fingers, wrists, forearms, and whatever sensations you're feeling in your lower arms and your hands, palms of your hands, thumbs and fingers, wrists, forearms. Now deliberately tighten up by making two fists and curling your wrists inwards. Two fists, curl your wrists inwards. And stay loose in the neck, and the chest, and the belly, and just focus on tightening up those lower arms and the hands and the wrists, and then release. Let those fingers unfold, lengthen, and soften. Just notice the sensation, notice what it's changed or not changed. Then once more, make two fists, nice hard fists, and curl the wrists inwards, tightening up those wrists, the hands, and the forearms. Can make it a little tighter, stay loose as much as possible in the rest of your body. Focus on tightening up those lower arms and then release. Feel like the hands unfold like a flower blooming. The forearms and wrists lengthen and soften. Then move your awareness to your upper arms, biceps, triceps, and the whole upper arm to the shoulders. Deliberately tighten up the upper arms by bringing the elbows in and pushing them into the mat. Bring them into your sides and then push into the mat or a blanket or whatever you're lying on. Try to stay loose in the neck. Try to focus on tightening up those upper arms. And then release. Let that go. Some deep breaths inwards, out. Once more. Tighten up the upper arms, bring the elbows in towards your sides, and then push them into the mat or blanket or what into the floor, whatever you're lying on. You feel them tighten up. And release. Let that go. Some deep breaths. If you like, imagine breathing from your shoulders down to your fingertips and exhaling from the fingertips back up. And then on the next breath, inhaling down, exhale, feel like the hands disappear, the wrists, forearms, elbows, shoulders. Bring your awareness along the collarbone to your throat, the sides and back of your neck, and whatever sensations you are feeling here. You deliberately tighten up the neck by bringing the chin toward the collarbone but resisting and pushing the back of the head into the mat. Collarbone toward the chin toward the collarbone but resist the movement and push the back of the head into the mat. Try to stay loose in the lower shoulders and just focus on tightening the neck. And then release. Let that go. Once more. Tighten up the neck by moving the chin toward the collarbone but resisting the movement and pushing the back of the head into the mat. Feel that neck tighten up. And then release. Let it go. Let it all go. Let's open up. Bring your awareness to your face, your jaw, cheeks, the eyes, the eyebrows, and the forehead. And what you're feeling in your face tonight. Deliberately tighten up by biting down on the jaw, squinting the eyes, wrinkling the nose, squinting the eyes, and lifting the eyebrows all at once, making a really scrunched up funny face. Tighten up, bite down on the teeth, squint, wrinkle the nose, squint the eyes, and lift the eyebrows. And then release that. Let it go. Let your face open up and shine. One more time. Laying down the teeth, wrinkling the nose, squinting the eyes, lifting the eyebrows. Just really try to tighten up the whole face. And then release. Let that go. Take some deep breaths in and out. And for a few minutes, just let your body lie here, maybe even sink into whatever you're lying on. And just focus on the rhythm of your breath. Or if you like, you can put an affirmation or mantra in, or just the sensation of your breath. Imagine the breath kind of like the seashore on a really calm day. You know, the waves come gently in and back out. The breath comes gently into your body and then fades back out just like the waves come back out. You know, very small waves, just a gentle in and out from the sea. Same with your breath. Feeling a sense of stillness in your mind. Focus with the breath, and if you like, the breath coordinated with a mantra or affirmation, or just the breath. Okay, coming back to your body. Start with your face. Let yourself smile. Down your neck and your jaw and your cheeks and the eyes. And then moving the head, loosening up the neck. Your awareness across your shoulders, down your arms, to your hands and fingers, moving the fingers. Breath in and out from the chest. Then breathe deep into the belly and let that gentle breath, but deep in the belly and let it release. Your awareness down your hips to your hip joint and down the thighs to the knees. Knees to the calves, ankles, feet, and toes. Move the toes. Move your feet, move your hands, arms, legs, and when you're ready, bring the knees toward the chest and just roll over to one side, like in a fetal position. And when you're ready, pushing yourself back up. Okay, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm gonna come a little closer here. Yeah. Okay,
It's very
so from the reading
relaxed.
today, basically it was there were basically four articles. I mean, two of them were Dr. Neff, but the video was kind of going over her website. I like the website, but I did have something in the video that I wanted for the quiz, so I included that. Uh, so Dr. Neff makes a pretty big point, particularly in her video, of distinguishing between self-esteem and self-compassion. Uh, so in your estimation, what is that distinction? Uh, is it, let's see, maybe I can screen share here. Let me share the screen. Where's my screen share? I gotta move my window. That's what I need to do. Here we go. Hang on, something's in the chat. Oh, okay. Got that. Sorry about that. You already answered that. Um, yeah, let's start here. Okay, let's see. Uh, okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted, I don't think. Boy, did I lose my window? I think I lost my window. Oh, geez. Hang on a second, please. Let me stop sharing. You'll give me a little bit of time here. Um, Discussing questions on smart March 3rd. Self-compassion. Yes, that's it. Okay. Let's see if I can screen share again. Okay. Okay. So, as I say, in the reading, she makes it, there's been a big self-esteem movement in the United States. But Dr. Neff really distinguishes that from self-esteem from self-compassion. Which of these do you think is a more fair estimate of what she's saying? Self-esteem is more about ambition, because remember, it means I'm really doing good stuff, or self-compassion is not. Self-esteem is an evaluation of self-worth, while self-compassion is showing kindness toward yourself. Self-compassion is kindness toward yourself, while self-esteem is motivating yourself. Or self-esteem is pride in yourself, or self-compassion is indulging in self-pity. Which do you think is the best estimation? Um, Maybe think about that for a moment. Usually, when I'm doing this in class, it's like a team team exercises. I have six teams, and they kind of discuss these things. And it's really more a prod to see if they've done the reading, which I think most of you probably have. So let's see how this works. Any thoughts about that? Sharon, what do you think?
They all sounded good except for D.
D, you
So
didn't like D. Okay.
no, but the other ones sound sound like they could fit.
Okay. Um, Renee, what do you think?
I think probably B would be the one that I would select.
B
Um,
is B is in boy.
B as in boy.
Carl, what about you? You're muted.
I'm strong on C, but we can form a consensus around B. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'm always a team player.
Yeah. And actually, let's see. Yes, B is the best answer. What's wrong with the other ones? Um, the problem with self-esteem, and this is I think the major point of her talk, is it's based on comparison. It's an evaluation of self-worth. Am I good? Am I above average? In her talk, she's got a whole audience and says, is there a problem with everybody in this audience being above average for the group? And you get into this sort of competitive game. And this is, in terms of stress, um, really, this came out of the fact that psychologists were pushing in this country and probably many other Western countries self-esteem. It was a good thing that you value your self-worth, but it was based on this kind of evaluation of self-worth. Am I a good person? Am I not? Whereas self-compassion is just saying, remember, it's saying sometimes life is tough. Sometimes we screw up. We all do. And this is, if you think of the three components of self-compassion, first is kindness to yourself. And a lot of us don't. A lot of us are really beating up with ourselves. And second of all is common humanity. And by common humanity, it means as humans, we're imperfect. We're always going to, we try, but we're always going to fail at something. We're always going to be, or more often, at least for me, it's not so much failing as not doing as best as I think I could have. There's always a little bit of a dissatisfaction, and the self-compassion comes in as, okay, that happens. Let's try to be kind to ourselves. Let's see. And it turns out research shows that self-esteem is not really that motivating because what happens is, well, first of all, if you're really hard on yourself, that may work in the short run, but in terms of, self-discipline, well, not self-discipline, but being really hard on yourself in the long run, research shows being kind to yourself, picking yourself up, and then going on with the sort of the joy of things is actually more motivating. Um, so nobody liked D, and you all came in on this, but I'm just trying to expand on that a little bit. What's the next question? Well, it's the same thing. The research, and she, Dr. Nath is a psychologist. She's at the University of Texas. She's a full professor there. And now she has her own web group. But the research shows that actually Self-compassion doesn't placate us. It's self-criticism. Yeah, it kind of works in the short run, but in the long run, self-criticism, if we're always criticizing ourselves, it ends up undermining our motivation. It ends up uh, motivating our confidence in whether we can do things or not. I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay, is there any question or thought? What are your thoughts about that? Anybody want to volunteer a thought? Okay, let's see what I have here. Okay, in that case, I think I'm going to actually go on and share again. So the other part was her website. Okay, so she has this whole thing about what self-compassion is, and here's these three components. I just thought, well, the third component I didn't go over, mindfulness. Uh, and again, common humanity. So it kind of bonds us together. That we don't have to be, hey, I'm better than you. I I'm perfect. No, none of us are perfect, you know. So we can all kind of give ourselves some slack, give other people a little bit of, it's not like you're gonna let people get away with um, s- too much stuff, but it's yeah. I'm trying to find the words to express it.
Mm.
It's really and apparently, in her own talk, when she talks about having gotten into this, she said, "You mean you're allowed to be kind to yourself?" And of course, you treat yourself like you would treat a good friend. Just like you want to be kind to other people, your friends, you want to be kind to yourself. And that sounds so um, obvious, but apparently it's not for many people. And so one thing here is um, you can still be motivated without um, being so hard on yourself. So I do hope you talk about these other um, tabs because part of this in being kind doesn't mean accepting everything that comes out. And this kind of goes back with uh, the mindfulness acceptance. You accept things as they are, but that doesn't mean you don't try to change them. This is what it is at the moment, but it's not what it could be. And so fierce self-compassion is kind of related to that. And it says that it doesn't mean because you're kind when things go back that you let people walk all over you. Sometimes fierce self-compassion is kind of the hard, the fierce side of self-compassion. The soft side is taking care of oneself. The fierce side is creating your space, not letting people I like, I'm showing my age, walk all over you, but uh, sometimes you have to defend yourself. Any thoughts about that?
No, I agree with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then here were the myths and undermine my motivation. And if you go through this, she goes through the answers to all of this. Is it letting myself off the hook? No. It provides a sense of safety to acknowledge what we've done. So it's it takes a little bit of thought here because self-compassion, you could be saying, well, oh, I screwed up. No, it's not like that. It's I feel bad because I screwed up, but I'm feeling bad and I need to acknowledge that I feel bad. But again, it allows you to face what's happened. Feeling sorry for myself, self-indulgent. You can, as you say, you can go through here. And the big thing is that you went on early was distinguishing it from self-esteem. And again, the dog with the crown kind of puts her point. Okay, selfish, make me softer, weak, and then to say I encourage you to go through that. It's on the website. Remember, it's just different tabs. This tab is the myths about. You just keep hitting on these. Okay. Any thoughts or questions about that? Any comments?
You want to get me started or not?
Pardon?
You want to get me started or not?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you come from a different tradition. This is very much a Buddhist tradition.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I think it has got really strong therapeutic values, and she comes from a caring place.
Well, that's exactly it, Carl. It is a therapeutic.
Yeah, and so I have to respect it from her professional observations. From a philosophy point of view, I have what stood out to me because I went through all the materials
Okay, great.
is that there seems to be a fundamental idea that goes back to the old Latin. What is it? It's human to make mistake, right? Era humana est, and so I have kind of let that go throughout my life and try to take a more positive view of myself, without being, without going into denial, but always focusing and meditating on something bigger and better. So it
Okay.
for me it's a bit static, and yeah, it doesn't inspire me so much.
Yeah, from your tradition, that's understandable.
Yeah,
Um,
but I mean, I can appreciate it. She has worked with a lot of people who had faced a lot of difficulties, and she's found a way to help those people, and I applaud her for it.
okay, that's fair enough. Um, and I'm not sure that these are mutually exclusive. The trying to go higher and better is necessarily mutually exclusive to taking care of um, when things don't work out or when you're feeling stressed. You know, like you say, you had a stressful day. Acknowledge you're feeling stressed. I think that's as simple as it is. And I'm not sure that I see your point that that is not included here. The trying to expand the mind, if you will, to try to challenge ourselves. She's kind of, I think all she's saying is, well, self-compassion does not preclude challenging yourself, but she doesn't actually get into that as much. I think is that a fair assessment of what you're saying? And by challenge, you're saying growth, and I'm using the word challenge, but in the same spirit as you're using
Right.
growth.
I mean, I think there is, a lot of these professional doctors, therapeutic therapists have been dabbling in Eastern philosophy, right? I mean, they had
Hmm.
to go outside the traditional Jung and Freud's in order to find new ways to help people because they were limited, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and so some of them go shopping in different baskets. One thing I have seen has come up quite a bit is like in visualizations and like healing things. My personal take is it's never good to dwell on the negative. What she's saying is that you can step away for it and acknowledging it. That's fine. I think she's done a good job on that. They're literally healing meditations where they say, uh, breathe in good energy, breathe out all the negative. And what you inadvertently end up doing is actually thinking about the negative, rather than so. Yeah, because I mean, it's
Maybe.
like you can be imbued with positivity, love all around you, and I think that's a very positive mindset. So I think she's done a great job of just acknowledging it, um, and then healing herself and others with it. So and
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
kudos to
good.
her for
Well,
finding
I
that way and
appreciate.
to also to crystallize it. It's very hard to crystallize it and and present something that people can go on, and then she can go and do her studies afterwards. I mean, it's a lot of efforts over decades, so good for her.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate hearing from all of you. I'm going to stop sharing this a minute because I did want to get into some of the other readings. And in the 15 minutes or so that we have left, I think I'll get back to is this what I want to do? No. Hello. Okay, hmm, hmm. Actually, I think what I want to do now is I think I uploaded a meditation. If I'm not, I will do so. Um, let's see. For your patience. Okay, it's not there, but I'm going to lead you through the last of the guided meditations I'm going to share with you in this course. And this one is about actually, and again, the whole class is about dealing with um, painful emotions because good times, we could just enjoy the good times and know they won't last. The hard times, we want to deal with in a positive way because a lot of problems happen, addictions and things like that are from trying to adapt to hard feelings. So let's go over this meditation. So start by just, sitting and coming, start with your breath or if you like a mantra, just come into a quiet space. And just think of some challenge or some difficulty, something that brings up difficult emotions for you. It doesn't have, please, not something traumatic, just something unpleasant, something unresolved. It could be an argument, a misunderstanding you've had, something that makes you angry, frustrated, resentful, guilty. And if there's nothing happening right now, just think of something that happened in the not too distant past. As you bring up the situation and really think about it, bring your attention to specific emotions that arise and any reactions you have to these emotions. Begins, think of something that's unpleasant for you and what emotions arise and your reaction to these emotions. As you're focusing on this troubling situation and your emotional reaction, allow yourself to tune into any physical sensations arising in the body. Be aware of those physical sensations that arise. Physical sensations that arise with your emotional reactions to a situation that's unpleasant. And then deliberately but gently directing your focus to the region of the body where the physical sensations are the strongest in a gesture of embrace and welcoming. Noticing that this is how it is right now. Breathing into that part of the body on the in-breath and breathing out from that part of the body on the out-breath. Part of the body where the physical sensations to this emotional reaction are the strongest. Exploring the sensations and watching their intensity shift up and down from moment to moment. Now see if you can bring to this attention an even deeper attitude of compassion and openness to whatever sensations, thoughts, or emotions you are experiencing, however unpleasant. Saying to yourself from time to time, it's okay, whatever it is, it's already here. Let me be open to it. Staying with the awareness of these internal sensations, breathing with them, accepting them, letting them be. Saying to yourself again, if you find it helpful, it's here right now. Whatever it is, it's already here. Let me be open to it. Softening and opening to any physical sensation you become aware of. Letting go of any tensing and bracing. You can also experiment with holding in awareness both the sensation of the body and the feeling of the breath moving in and out as you breathe with the sensations moment by moment. When you notice the bodily sensations are no longer pulling your attention to the same degree, simply return 100% to the breath as your primary object of attention. Now bring your awareness back to your breath if you haven't already, and back to the way you're sitting. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. And let me see if I can share what I intended to share. Okay, so I had a lot of this comes from John Kabat-Zinn. He started and for 40 years or so, I think he may have been retired by now, the stress management, mindfulness-based stress management clinic in UMass Boston. It's part of Harvard Medical School. And then that program's been replicated throughout the world. So it's a well-known program. But these slides taken from his book uh, talk about some other things. And, this goes through stress, stressor, um, and then some of the ways we can become stress hardy, feeling in control, seeing how you see things, optimism, pessimism, an optimistic outlook, a feeling of helplessness is toxic. So feeling that you can control things. You can't, of course, control everything, but you can control how you react to things, a sense of coherence. Everything changes, this idea of homeostasis. But what I wanted to get to, um, yeah, if we had time, I go through eustress. Eustress is when something good happens, you get a new job. And then all of a sudden, the new job comes with more responsibilities, a new position. And everything requires some adaptation, even things that are supposedly good. But what I wanted to go through is related to that meditation we just did. It's when something bad happens, the body's programmed. We're physically programmed to respond to stress. And without going through all of these um, exact hormonal things, it is a cycle. And what happens is the body wants to make us aware of something. It doesn't do it with some kind of lullaby. It wants to get our attention. So the feelings are strong, and they're uncomfortable because they're trying to get our attention. And what happens with modern stressors, in the ancient, you had to run away from the predator. And once you did, the parasympathetic nervous system kicked in, you're fine. Modern stressors are not like that. They don't go away, and our body is still programmed to respond to that stress. And again, I talked earlier about tapping into parasympathetic nervous system. So what happens is, what do? Comfort food, eat too much. Some people go to alcohol or substance abuse. Some people work too hard, to distract themselves. They get into a workaholic, which is not healthy. So the whole idea is to break this stress cycle. And the way we do that is being aware that you're in the stress cycle. And how you do that is to practice. And that was the whole of this other side. And here's sympathetic, parasympathetic. This comes from a different book. Um, and these are just some of the effects, the physical effects of chronic stress and maladaptive coping mechanism I just said. Uh, but awareness changes it. Awareness allows us to, instead of going through this cycle, we can decide, I'm angry. Am I going to just go out and hit somebody? Or am I going to say, well, maybe how am I going to deal with this anger? It's that stop, that pause, that awareness that allows us to, instead of automatically react or get into suppressed emotions, to breathe, do what we just did, acknowledge the physical, because normally those reactions to get our attention, they usually manifest in our bodies physically. Any comments or thoughts on that? If not, what I'm not seeing here, let me stop sharing. One last thing. The last handout I shared with you was called Befriending Emotions, and I will share that. Let's see if this is the right file. Yeah. Okay, we've seen that. This goes through again to value our emotions, even though they make us uncomfortable. But really, what I want to do is just finish the class with this poem by Rumi. Does anybody want to read this? Could I have a volunteer to read it? Is it visible? Is it big enough that you can see it? No.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Oh, that's even better.
Okay. Yeah, get rid of that three. Go ahead.
The
Um,
guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each guest has been sent as a guide from beyond.
Thank you. Nicely done. Does anybody know who Rumi is? Do you all? Who's heard of Rumi? Carl, you must have. Sharon, have you heard of Rumi?
I have.
Well, I have, but I don't really couldn't tell you much about him other than
Carl, who's
that.
Rumi? Carl? Oh, you're muted.
What about Rumi?
Yeah, who was he?
Well, he was a Muslim mystic in the Sufi tradition in the Middle Ages and is credited with some incredible poetry, though, of course, most of us are reading the translations by others. Um,
Yes, of course.
but yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, there's obviously a filter with the versions that we find, but he went beyond his religion in that sense and was expressing true spiritual ideas. So yeah, he's been inspiring a lot of people on the path. This is an interesting thing. I haven't actually seen this one before. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, and he lived in the 1200s, about 800 years ago. So this is the human condition. All humans go through these things. And his, again, I feel like it kind of connects with the meditation. I'm just trying to take you. We're going to feel stress. We're going to feel hard emotions. It's okay. Invite them in, as he's saying, and actually learn from them. I love that each has been sent as a guide from beyond. We actually can learn from what our body teaches us. Um, any other thoughts for tonight before we close? Maybe Scott, we can turn the recording off and then maybe have a little informal session here.